West Ham News 20180111T110202.403Z. We told you we'd have more from Ken Dyer on West Ham's interest in Fyodor Smolov, and we weren't lying. Here's the latest from London Stadium. The Hammers are considering a £15 million bid for Russia international striker Fyodor Smolov if, as expected, Sacco moves to Crystal Palace. The two London Premier League clubs have agreed a fee of around £12 million for Sacco, and should the deal go through, West Ham are likely to move for Smolov, who plays for Russian Premier League team Krasnodar. Smolov, who is 28 next month, has been prolific for club and country over the last 2 seasons, and has topped the scoring lists in the Russian Premier League for the last 2 seasons. He has scored 59 goals in 90 matches for Krasnodar and 11 in 28 for Russia, including 2 in a 33 draw with Spain in November. Midfield remains a priority for West Ham, though, with bids for Bournemouth's Harry Arter and Stoke's Joe Allen having been rejected so far. Chelsea News 20180111T105758.793Z. Ross Barkley may have only just arrived at Chelsea, but Simon Johnson says his new club are in desperate need of his magic. Photo action images via Reuters. Judging by Chelsea's Labour displays over the past few days, Antonio Conte will have to turn to new signing Ross Barkley sooner than planned. Since Barkley completed a £15 million switch from Everton last Friday, Conte's side have played out 2 successive goalless draws, and a lack of inspiration in central midfield has been clear to see. Chelsea supporters had the first glimpse of the 24-year-old when he was introduced to them at half-time last night. Given the loud and warm reception provided, it's clear they not only welcomed Barkley's arrival from Goodison Park, but perhaps wished he could have stayed on the pitch to play the second half. Of course, Barkley is not ready for selection yet, having not played a competitive game for 8 months because of a serious hamstring injury. However, with the England international declaring himself fully fit and already training with the first team, Chelsea could do with his Park as quickly as possible. It has become clear this season that if Chelsea's most creative players, Cesc Fabregas and Eden Hazard, aren't at the best, then the team struggle to score. Alvaro Morata is reliant on good service, particularly in the air, to get on the score sheet. The Spaniard is not the kind of forward to make a goal for himself out of nothing. Willian and Pedro have been inconsistent, and there is no room for them in the 11 when Conte plays his favoured 352 formation as he did last night. This system puts even more onus on the 3 central players to supply quality balls for Morata and the marauding Hazard. However, at the moment, Conte does not have enough of those kind of individuals to deliver. Playing alongside Fabregas last night was Danny Drinkwater and the defensively minded N'Golo Kante. It was a chance for Drinkwater to prove his worth in a big game following a £35 million summer transfer from Leicester, but he was too careless in possession. Kante is not expected to provide incisive through balls behind a defence, so Arsenal only had former gunner Fabregas to worry about, and that made negating him easier. Another closed-season purchase, Diemwe Bakayoko, was a late substitute. Yet his distribution has been so wayward of late, supporters have changed the lyric to an affectionate chant they created for him to now end with "He always gives the ball away." Defender Antonio Rudiger admits that when games are tight, Chelsea are finding it difficult. He said, "I think the last pass is missing, the final part to score the goal. There weren't a lot of chances against Arsenal, but some were there. We have to kill a match off." Conte insisted afterwards that Chelsea had been dangerous in attack, were unlucky with some opportunities, and pointed to the fact his side had 21 shots. The Italian used a similar argument following the 0-0 draw at Norwich in the FA Cup third round on Saturday, plus the 10 loss at West Ham and 0-0 stalemate at Everton last month. But it does not really ring true. With 3 cup competitions to fight for in the second half of the campaign, plus a top 4 finish in the Premier League to secure, Chelsea must find more magic, and that's where Barkley comes in. Crystal Palace News 20180111T103,709.77 OZ. Time for a roundup of all things Crystal Palace from our man Giuseppe Muro, and there's a lot to get through. Palace aligning up a £25 million double swoop for strikers Diafra Sakho and Oumar Niasse, with Roy Hodgson losing faith in Christian Benteke. Benteke has scored just one goal in 16 matches this season, and Hodgson has made a new striker one of his transfer priorities this month. Sakho looks certain to leave West Ham, and Palace have already agreed a £12 million fee with them, while Everton are willing to sell £13 M-rated Niasse. Palace also hope to agree a deal to sign Getafe goalkeeper Vicente Guaita. Sakho has not played for West Ham since he was a late substitute in their EFL Cup tie at Arsenal on December 19th. The 28-year-old wanted to join Rennes last summer, but a move fell through. Palace have rekindled their interest in Niasse after missing out on him last summer. The Eagles attempted to sign the 27-year-old on deadline day at the end of the last window, but the deal collapsed at the last minute. Niasse has started 5 matches in all competitions for Everton this season, scoring 6 goals. Everton manager Sam Allardyce will allow Niasse to leave Goodison Park after he signed Cenk Tosun from Besiktas for £27 million. Palace, though, face competition to sign him, with West Brom and Brighton also reported to be interested. A new frontman has been a January priority for Palace since they missed out on signing one last summer, leaving them with Benteke as their only recognised striker. Hodgson is aware there is a pressing need to reinforce his injured squad. Andros Townsend and Jeffrey Schlupp were injured in Monday's FA Cup defeat by Brighton. And Mamadou Sakho, Joel Ward, Scott Dann and Jason Puncheon are also out. Newcastle are interested in Pape Souaré, but Palace are unlikely to allow the left-back to lead while Schlupp is sidelined. Done deal 20180111T102,106.34 OZ. Perhaps the most shocking contract news of the entire window. 50-year-old striker Kazuyoshi Miura has signed a new contract with Japanese second-division club Yokohama FC. The forward, who turns 51 next month, has 139 goals in a career which began at Brazilian outfit Santos in the late 1908s and also played in Italy and Croatia. In 1993, Miura beat both Gary Lineker and former Brazil international Zico to be named MVP in the inaugural J-League season, finishing as top scorer. Done deal 20180111T095422 said it seems Barcelona are dragging their heels in this window after landing Philippe Coutinho from Liverpool last week. The Catalan club have announced the signing of 23-year-old Colombian defender Yerry Mina. West Ham News 20180111T094835 310Z1 to split West Ham fans now, following on from Ken Dyer's story of Los Angeles' interest in Javier Hernandez yesterday. Sky Sports are reporting that the Hammers are ready to listen to offers for the former Manchester United man, while the club will look to recoup most of the £16 million they paid Bayer Leverkusen for the Mexican last summer. David Moyes is keen to address the unbalance in his squad. The 29-year-old has scored just 4 goals since his move from Germany, none of which have contributed to a win. Arsenal News 20180111T093533 113Z. Chief football correspondent James Ollie says that Arsene Wenger is trying to push Manchester City closer to Arsenal's £40 million valuation of Alexis Sanchez. And here's how: publicly, at least, Arsene Wenger is not giving up on Alexis Sanchez without a fight. The Frenchman may have fueled speculation that Sanchez is closing in on a move to Manchester City by leaving him out of his starting lineup last night. Yet what followed afterwards was arguably his most impassioned defense of the 29-year-old. Yet the team's selection had nothing to do with the transfer market, he said. People don't know Alexis well. This is a guy who is completely focused to play football. Have you seen how he came on, how he warmed up, like a player who wants to play football? He can make a difference between what's going on outside and what's going on the football pitch, with facts, not psychological theories. I don't understand the way you see things. You know why? Because it doesn't matter how long on my contract I have to go. If I play the next game for Arsenal, I want to win the game and I commit like I stay forever. You say basically that the commitment of a player is linked with the length of his contract. I don't believe that at all. It was essentially a development of the hunger index he described last year when spinning Sanchez and Mesut Ozil's lack of commitment in refusing to sign new contracts and entering the final 12 months as a short-term positive, this time injected with a seemingly sincere degree of passion. There are not many people who believe Sanchez will be an Arsenal player on February 1st, fewer still who think he will suddenly abandon a long-held desire to join City by signing an extension, almost certainly the last major deal of his career, to remain at the Emirates Stadium. Wenger is an idealist, but perhaps contained within is a deal of pragmatism. It is worth remembering the Frenchman publicly dismissed all discussion of Sanchez leaving last summer, only to talk to City privately in the final few days and come a positive phone call with Thomas Lemar away from selling him for £60 million. And so perhaps Wenger's latest impassioned plea, while harboring a residual hope it might not fall on deaf ears, is in all probability a bargaining position, designed to push City as close to the £40 million Arsenal believe Sanchez is still worth. Talks will continue, and Sanchez did indeed look sufficiently motivated in his 24-minute cameo to try to turn this drab affair in Arsenal's favour, but rumours persist he is merely biding his time before a deal is finally agreed, having ultimately opted not to cash in with 1 year to go. There is an argument for seeing it through to the bitter end. Sanchez's form may have suffered this season, but he remains a danger to any opponent. City's change of heart has come about largely because of Gabriel Jesus' injury, although inquiries from Paris Saint-Germain and Bayern Munich, who along with any overseas club can speak directly to the player's representatives now, has also sharpened minds up the M6. Unless City up the ante to find a breakthrough, it seems this saga is set to run deep into January. Wenger, for one, seems perfectly willing to take it as far as he possibly can. 20180111T092804-973 Barcelona defender Gerard Piqué has sent a message to his former club Manchester United. Any other sides who might be interested in his teammate Samuel Umtiti? The former lineman has a £55 million release clause in his current deal with the Catalan side. The Red Devils have been credited with interest in the 24-year-old Frenchman. However, Piqué, who left United for the Nou Camp in 2008, says he expects the defender to play at Barcelona for many more years. "I'm not worried about what clubs might not do," said Piqué. "Umtiti is a great player and we expect him to stay at Barca for many more years and for him to enjoy his football with us to an extent. The buyout clause is made high so that you can't buy the player. As time goes by, that fee doesn't seem so high at all, but the player still has to want to leave. We're very happy with Umtiti and I'm sure he's going to stay here for a very long time." Premier League News 20180111T092240-950 said Liverpool could be about to get the way in the deal for Naby Keita after all, if reports in Germany are to be believed. It was claimed last week that, following the sale of Philippe Coutinho to Barcelona, the Reds were keen on bringing the deal to bring the RB Leipzig midfielder to Anfield forward by 6 months to January. The Bundesliga club initially rebuffed any suggestion that they would sanction the move with half a season to go. However, according to Bild, they could well be swayed for another €15 million to €20 million, £13 million, £17.5 million. The Reds paid a premium on top of his £48 million buyout clause to agree the deal a year in advance last summer, meaning the total transfer could end up costing them north of £65 million should an early move be agreed. Chelsea News 20180111T091518-740 Antonio Rudiger has told Simon Johnson that he expects Alvaro Morata to bounce back from a drop in form to fire Chelsea to trophies this season. Morata failed to score against Arsenal for the second time in 8 days as Chelsea were held 0-0 in the first leg of the EFL Cup semi-final. The Spain international struck 7 times in his first 8 appearances for the Blues after joining from Real Madrid for a club record £58 million, but has found the net on just 5 occasions in the last 21. A section of Chelsea fans appeared to start voicing the frustration as he laboured against Arsenal's defence. Rudiger admits the 25-year-old has been showing signs recently that his struggles are getting to him, but is confident he will soon bounce back. He told Standard Sport, as a striker it's normal that you want to score. Of course there are times when the head is down a little bit. But all I will say to him is to continue to work for the team as you always do, and the luck will come again. I'm not worried about him. I don't know this if the home crowd were getting on his back against Arsenal. I just know the whole team is with him, and I think all the fans are with him. It's just a difficult period for him, and I hope the best for him. Sometimes there are spells when you score and don't score, but his effort for the team is good and he always tries. If he scores again, everything will be fine. Can he win the second leg against Arsenal for us? Definitely. We saw it in the last round against Bournemouth. He had one chance and scored. When he does this again, everything will be okay. While Morata has the backing of his fellow summer signing, Antonio Conte is still keen to bolster his attacking ranks this month. Belgian striker Michy Batshuayi, who arrived at Stamford Bridge for £33 million last summer, has fallen further out of favour with the Italian manager, and is keen to leave on loan in order to boost his chances of a place in the Red Devils World Cup squad this summer. West Ham News 20180111T090356.026 said, with Diafra Sakho edging closer and closer to the exit door at London Stadium, it looks as if West Ham aren't hanging around when it comes to replacing him. Hearing from our reporter Ken Dyer that the Hammers are interested in a deal to bring Russian striker Fyodor Smolov to East London. The 27-year-old, tipped to be one of the stars of this summer's World Cup as he captains the host nation, is reportedly available for £15 million. We'll have the full story from Ken on Standard Sport soon. 20180111T0851511130Z. Some news from the Championship now, regarding Fulham's in-demand wingback Ryan Sessegnon. The 17-year-old is a hot commodity, having been linked with a number of top Premier League sides, most notably Manchester United and Tottenham. However, with rumours about surrounding his future, Fulham vice-chairman Tony Khan has stepped in and ruled out a departure this month. As it's been the subject of a great deal of speculation, I'd like to announce that Ryan Sessegnon is staying with Fulham Football Club and will not be departing during this January transfer window, Khan told The Telegraph. Ryan is a very important part of the Fulham family, and we're grateful that he'll be with us as we fight to achieve promotion this season. Premier League News 20180111T084656 said Liverpool forward Roberto Firmino is set to be one of the main beneficiaries of the club's swelled bank account following Philippe Coutinho's sale to Barcelona, according to reports from The Telegraph. They suggest the Reds are keen to tie Firmino down to a lucrative new deal, keeping him at Anfield until the end of his career. The 26-year-old has 2 years remaining on his current deal on Merseyside, though the club are keen to secure the rest of their key assets following Coutinho's departure. While Firmino will likely get a healthy new deal, it's clear he'll miss his magical brother. Liverpool is no longer the same without you, my magical brother, the Brazilian wrote in a message to Coutinho on social media. Following the deal with Barcelona, I wish you infinite success, that you enjoy life and realize all your dreams, brother. God is always protecting you and your whole family.